Hi, my name is Beth, and you're listening to the Canna Fitness and Nutrition Podcast, where we are hanging out at the intersection of fitness, nutrition, and cannabis. And thank you so much for pressing play today. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for checking it out. This is where we talk about all things cannabis, fitness, and nutrition related, because cannabis is an excellent tool in our health and wellness and fitness toolbox. So today, we're going to talk about intentional cannabis use. Actually, honoring the plant as our ally with embodied presence, activation, and nervous system safety. Yeah, I know. That's kind of a mouthful, but that's what we're going to talk about, the intention of cannabis, using it purposefully when it comes to our fitness and nutrition. And I'm going to explain a little bit more. Essentially, and this is where I think it gets confusing in my world when I start to tell people about what I do. Your people's first reaction, and maybe even your first reaction, might be, okay, cannabis is like a vice, right? Or a crutch, or something that people lean to just get high, numb, feel better, zone out, peace out. But here's the secret. It doesn't have to be that. It's more than that. That's a different direction than we want to take it. It can be that, and for a lot of people, it absolutely is. But for a lot of people, and again, if you're following this category, that's okay. We're going to talk about how to switch that. Anything can be a vice, right? Food is probably the most underrated, overused vice and crutch there is, right? I mean, how easy is it to feel sad, go get a box of cookies or a bag of chips and just mindlessly munch on them until you don't feel your feelings anymore, right? Let's be honest, right? The whole stereotypical, crying into your tub of ice cream, the, stereotypical going through the drive-thru just to get fries because they make you feel better because you had a bad day, right? That is also a vice and a crutch. Alcohol is a really actually dangerous vice or crutch. And I think cannabis can be seen as a vice or a crutch quite often. But we're going to talk about how it is more than that, and it's actually a tool that aligns with our fitness, our nourishment, and our mindful living. So in this world, as you know, everything is hustle culture, right? It's go, go, go. And there really isn't time to sit with your feelings, which is why we search for crutches and we search for tools. And again, in my world, and a lot of the clients that come to me are currently using food as a crutch. That's a big deal because I used to do it. Again, in hustle culture, I was always trying to go, go, go. I've been an entrepreneur. As a personal trainer, I've been an entrepreneur for the last almost 20 years. So that's a big hustle culture and a long time to live in that. And the first, few years of that life, and when I had a full-time desk job, it was just go, 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 get as much done as you can, make as much money as you can. And that's, I think, a trap that a lot of people fall into. So, we have that hustle and that's normalized. It's normal. No one bats an eye when you tell them that you sat down and ate a bag of chips, right? You might feel embarrassed about it, but also everyone else is doing it. So, the world actually a little bit glorifies that. And that's how we numb out. I mean, cigarettes are a good example. They're not as common and popular as they used to be because of the dangers, but that's another vice. And I think cannabis is perceived as a vice. But if you use it, then you already know, right? And I'm going to steer you in this direction. If you haven't experienced the ritualistic alignment of cannabis, then we're going to talk about that, and you're going to have an opportunity to practice that. And I think from a perception standpoint, too, if you've always seen cannabis as a crutch, open your mind for a couple minutes here, and let's talk about how we shift from habit, right, to ceremony, right? Slowing down, setting intention, honoring our body. That's what it really is. When we use cannabis intentionally, it's just about slowing down, paying attention, setting an intention of how we're going to use it, and listening to what our body says. So let's start from the beginning. If you are going to want to use cannabis intentionally, here's what I suggest you do first. Before you light up or before you put the edible in your mouth, before you use your favorite form of cannabis, what's your intention? What are you here to receive? Are you looking for a release? Are you looking for that exhale where just stress seems to leave your body? Are you looking for the shoulders dropping finally? Are you looking for your heart rate to finally slow down? Are you looking for a chance to actually breathe for a minute? Are you looking for a spark, right? An igniting of energy or aliveness? Are you looking for focus? Are you looking for, what are you looking for? A rest? Are you looking to just rest and finally close your eyes and not be plagued with all the thoughts and ruminating and revisiting the events and dialogues of the day, right? When I use cannabis, my intention is usually to breathe and to relax. So let me explain. So when I use and to focus. So when I use cannabis, I use it with the purpose of breathing deeply. So big inhales, big exhales, because I tend to go. I can get worked up too, and get so worked up that I don't even know if I'm paying attention to my breathing. And so I use it to intentionally breathe. Take a long inhale, hold, and take a long exhale and feel the relief in my chest. I hold anxiety in my chest. It also helps my shoulders drop, right? But it also helps me focus in. So I do often use it if I have to do some writing, like an article or a social media post or an email. I love to have some cannabis first because I know that once I exhale a few times, my brain will focus in on the messaging. It'll focus in on what my heart wants to say. And it grounds me so that I can get the words out that I want to and really focus without other thoughts sneaking in. What's for dinner? Does the dog need to go outside? What happened in this conversation? Did I missay something? Those are my intentions usually. But that's me. What is it for you? Look at your environment. Where are you? Are you sitting in your favorite chair? Are you listening to music? Are you drinking tea? Are you in soft lighting, darkness, bright lighting? What is it that makes you feel the way you want to feel when you use cannabis? Essentially thinking through, why do you want to use it? To get high? Okay, well, that's fine. Why do you like that high feeling? Let's dig one more layer deep. Why do you like that, right? I like it because it allows me to focus and go deep into how I'm feeling and my thoughts without them scurrying off in different directions and I feel like sometimes, my thoughts are, I'm on a highway and there's all these on and off ramps and these cars are my thoughts and they're constantly coming in and merging and going off onto ramps, and cannabis allows me to stay on the road and focus straight ahead and go towards my destination without worrying about the cars coming in and off of the on ramps. I hope that's relatable for you. let's also think about the dosage, right? When you start to use cannabis, what do you start with? Do you start with a micro dose? Do you start with immediately set out to get as much as you can? What is that? Set the intention. The amount doesn't matter so much as how much you want to use, so sometimes I'll grab, my little vape and I'll say, okay, well, I'm going to do, 3 sessions on this, and then I'm going to stop and I'm just going to work. I'm going to write, I'm going to read, whatever my focus activity is, and to keep my mind on that highway. And that's it. I can put it aside and then can come back to it later once it wears off, or once I want more with a new intention, and you can set your intention around any dosage. A micro dose, you could just start with, let me just take the edge off and see here, or let me just, have a little bit and see. I could have a drink. You could have an edible and then wait and see. But my point is to set the intention ahead of time, and so that we're not mindlessly vaping. I've definitely caught myself mindlessly vaping, right? And that's basically just mindlessly eating with a different tool. So, I mentioned this in the breathwork episode, but when I started incorporating more breathwork into it, it slowed me down and stopped the mindlessness, because I don't want it to be another crutch. I want it to be intentional. So using the breath. And the fun part is you can do any breath work you like. I like an inhale for about 6. And again, I inhale through my mouth because I'm vaping, but you can inhale through your nose, however you like. I hold for about 4 counts. That's just me. You can hold it for longer or shorter. And then I exhale. And of course, as you know, as a cannabis user, if you're a smoker, you know that the clouds are fun. So it's fun to watch the clouds and really get into that vibe, but using the breath work to slow yourself down and be intentional. Because once I stop focusing on the breath, then I easily get sucked into the mindless vaping. Also, if I didn't set an intention, so if I sit in front of the television, it's really easy, just like mindless eating, right? You sit in front of the TV and suddenly you're just hand to mouth, chips in mouth, hand in bag, chips in mouth, hand in bag. Same thing can happen with eating and drinking, right? And smoking, same thing can happen. You're just like, okay, here we go. Keep puffing, keep watching, keep puffing, keep watching. But when you set an intention, then you start to really change the game. Now, here's the next phase. This is the really important part, especially when it comes to fitness and nutrition, is to start to feel your body. I like to do like a little body scan. And I'll be honest, I do these a lot, throughout the day. It's just a little body scan. You can do a full body scan, or you can do just a part body scan, but a full body scan would be starting from head to toe or toe to head, and just mindfully just walking yourself through your body. What's going on in your head. You can even do it right now with me if you want. Close your eyes if you're not driving. Close your eyes and just feel. What's going on in your head? What's going on in your jaw? What's going on in your forehead? Is it wrinkled? Are you smiling? Are you frowning? Is your jaw tight? Is it open? What's going on in your neck? Are there any sensations in your neck? Is it tight? Does it feel like it needs to stretch? Does it feel like there's anything in your throat? Do you feel tightness and tension? What about your shoulders? Is there tension in the shoulders? Could you sit up taller? Could you pull your shoulders back? Could you stretch your head to one side and feel a gentle stretch in your neck? What's going on in your back? Is your back tight? Could you sit up straighter? Is there tension in your back? Is it in your upper back? Is it in your mid back? Is it in your low back? What's going on in your chest? What's going on in your stomach? Now, that's just an example, and you can work yourself all the way down to your toes. Now, when it comes to using it intentionally for nutrition, especially when we're talking about our eating behaviors, this is where we zone right into what's going on in our stomach. And a lot of times you can just put your hand on your stomach, close your eyes, and just sort of breathe and feel what's going on in there. Is it empty? Is it full? Is there no sensation? You can move your hand a little lower to your abdomen, your lower abdomen where your intestines are. What's going on in there? Is there movement? Are they empty? Do they feel full and satisfied? What's going on in there? And you can use that mindfulness to see if you are really hungry, right? That's an easy test to see if you need something to eat, right? When you search your throat, is there thirst? Start asking yourself these questions. What's going on in here? What's going on inside? And the cool thing about cannabis is that it does slow us down. It does put you in deeper touch with your body. So this is the ritual that I love, is intentional breathing, setting aside the cannabis I'm going to use, intentionally breathing, inhaling, and then before I settle into the project I'm going to work on, just a quick body scan to see if anything needs to stretch, check in with my stomach and my throat and my intestines to see if I need a snack. Is there anything I need? Do I need a drink? Do I need to drink some water? Do I need to drink some coffee? What's going on in there? And then from there, it's really whatever you want it to be. You can move your body. You can go into some gentle stretching, yoga, warm up. You could go into a walk, a run, a workout. You could go into journaling. Again, the cannabis part is going to allow your mind to focus and connect better. It's proven that cannabis enhances our mind-body connection. All that means is that you're going to be better able to sense what's going on in your body. Grab a journal. If you're a journal person, grab your journal. What's going on? What's trying to come through? What are the thoughts at the top of your head? Let them flow. You can allow pleasure. Explore movement. Cannabis, it puts you in touch with your body in any way that feels good, right? This is where cannabis becomes medicine and you get to know your body better. So as you settle in, again, continue to sense, continue to journal if you like. You could even make voice notes or notes in your phone. If you like, you can, again, assess, do you need any hydration? Do you need a snack? But not from, ooh, I have the munchies standpoint. Like really check in. Really check in. Get out of your head. Check into your body, right? Your brain might be going, I'm high now, I can eat chips. But does your body really want chips? Check in. Check in with your stomach. What's going on in there? When I really check into my stomach, I just ate breakfast. So when I really check in, if I think about, let me rephrase this. If I think about a chocolate chip cookie, I'm like, yeah, I want a chocolate chip cookie. I don't care that I just ate breakfast. Chocolate chip cookies are fantastic. But when I get away from those thoughts and check in with my stomach, right? Moving my intention to my stomach, then my stomach says, no, I'm full. You've got food in there. We just had a nice breakfast. I'm full. There's no room in there. Not at all hungry. And then suddenly, the thought about the chocolate chip cookie seems way less appealing. And I can revisit that later. Absolutely. And that's the mindfulness practice I've come to use with cannabis when it comes to intentional use, using it for mindful eating, right? And mindful movement. So the fun thing is, it's up to you. It's up to you. You can use it however you want. But I want you to think about, and I'm going to leave you with this, is how can you use it more intentionally than you already do? chances are, if you use cannabis, you've already set an intention. Whether you verbalized it or not, you already set an intention in your mind that, hey, this is going to help me sleep. This is going to help me relax. This is going to relieve my social anxiety at this party. This is going to, XYZ, right? Let's take it one more step. One more step. Really set that intention. Really say to yourself, I need this gummy to help me sleep. And then check in with your body. How long does it take? Do you know how long it takes for that sleepy feeling to set in? Look at the clock. Check in with your body. Notice. Start to notice. Notice when it affects you. Notice when you start to feel that little edge of relief. Notice when you start to feel your shoulders drop. Notice when you exhale. Notice your body just exhale and sigh. Notice when you, or maybe it's the opposite for you. Maybe it's your pick-me-up. And notice when now you feel like you can get up and go for a walk. Now you feel like your mind is clear. Or maybe you're like me, and now you can ride that highway of clear thoughts without other cars coming in and off of the on-ramps trying to interrupt your flow, right? So this is what we do in CannaFit, right? This is what we do. We use it intentionally. We're all about checking in with our bodies. And it's not simple. I'm not going to lie. It takes practice. Let me rephrase that. It's simple. It's not easy. It takes practice. Any skill takes practice. You want to learn how to play the violin? You're going to have to practice. You're not just going to pick it up and play a beautiful violin song right away, right? If you want to play softball, people make softball out to be like it's super simple, but actually you have to be able to throw the ball, catch the ball, and hit the ball. So you're not going to just go out and play and be MVP. You're going to have to practice these skills, and you may not hit the ball the first time you play, right? That's okay. The cool thing is, and again, if you're here, then you probably also have a love for cannabis like I do, and most of you do, in that you love the way it makes you feel. I love that. Let's take it one step further. Why do you love it? And when do you know you love it? All right. I'm going to leave you there. Thank you so much for listening in today. I hope that this was a little bit enlightening, a little bit eye-opening. And if you have any questions or you want to talk about it further, please reach out. And if you have anything else you'd like to talk about on the podcast, reach out. I can be emailed at beth@cannafitnessnutrition.com. I hang out on Instagram, so you can reach me, Beth_CannaFitnessNutrition. And I'd love to hear from you, and have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.